We got a lot of hashtags, and I was thinking about this. This is going to be one of those ones where it's hashtag dad's girlfriend. We have got to stop bringing our children around people who we are just in relationships with in a casual manner. I think really the only time that children should be spending an extended amount of time with the significant other that you have is when you're married. If you're not married, just stop doing it. But even then, if these people don't share a DNA tie with your children, I just think it's the stories that I've been seeing just really just shows that this is a dangerous thing to do when people don't share a DNA tie, when they don't have it in their heart, when their heart and their mind is not in the right place. But before we get into the story, let me give you a disclaimer real quick. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. You guys are going to see people typing in the chat. They're typing some of the AFC hashtags. I forgot about some of those, but that's awesome. Thank y'all for that. And I'm getting this story from lawandcrime.com, so thank you for the article. A woman, dad's girlfriend, allegedly beat her 8-year-old stepdaughter to death. And I know we have some people in the chat, and you hear this story, and it's like, why do we have so many stories like this? Like, it's just crazy. And I actually hearken back to Takesha Williams. Takesha Williams, Stockton, California. I personally believe that she murdered a little girl by the name of Billy Simone Williams. And then you have a story like this. It's just, in my mind, that's what it reminds me of. I want y'all to listen to this story and tell me what you think. This woman allegedly beat her 8-year-old stepdaughter to death at a home in Georgia, hitting her 10 to 20 times with a wooden rolling pin, like the thing that you roll dough with, a rolling pin, and hit her in the neck area. Just that accusation alone, it's just, why would anybody think that's okay? Why would you think that's discipline? Why would you do it? Like, who thinks to do that? Like, how can you be that level of dumb? The girl's father is accused of leaving her alone with the stepdaughter despite knowing the abuse. This is where the AFC comes in. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give us some credit. All of us, everybody who's in the chat, everybody who's in the comment section. I want you to type it in there and give yourself credit because of you guys spreading our message and you guys building up our channel, because this ain't a me thing, this is a we thing. They are hearing our voices loud and clear when we say that those who allow the abuse to go on should be held just as accountable as the person who committed the abuse. How many of you guys have been listening to me for long enough to know that that's what we've been saying? You know it goes on. You allow it to happen. You do nothing. Your ass needs to go to jail and face charges also. Men and women, everybody, grandparents, aunties. If you see it and don't say anything, you need to go to jail. Straight up. Because this is heartbreaking bullcrap. He's accused of leaving her alone with the stepdaughter despite knowing of the abuse. Both of them are now facing murder charges. The Gwinnett County Police Department said in a press release that officers responded to a medical call at a home on the 300 block of Vine Springs around 2:15 p.m. on Tuesday. Officers said that the stepmother, 34-year-old Natalia Barros, Natiella, or I'm assuming that's Natalia Barros, Barros, had been alone with the girl when she became unresponsive. Barros called the girl's father, who came to the home and started CPR before calling 911. To me, when you behave that way, that is indicative of guilt. You know something's wrong. You don't call 911. You don't call the hospital. You call the parent and say, hey, come over here, come check on your kid who is clearly in distress. Takes him however long it takes him to get there. Still ain't called for no help. He gets there, tries to do CPR on his daughter, then call for help. That's just no excuse for that. After officers arrive, and then you still got to think about all the time it took for paramedics to get there. After they arrived, paramedics pronounced the girl dead on the scene. Homicide detectives were called to investigate, given the circumstances of the death. They interviewed the adults at the home. Police arrested Barros Wednesday, which is Dad's girlfriend, on the charges of murder, felony murder, aggravated assault, and first-degree cruelty to children, court records show. Citing an arrest affidavit, Fox affiliate WAGA reported Barros beat the girl with a wooden rolling pin 10 to 20 times. Like, why would you say 10 to 20? It's a big difference. So we're just going to assume that it was probably 20 times, refusing to get her medical care afterwards. The affidavit says Barros was angry and hit the girl in several areas, including her neck. Before his arrest, the father, Cledir, Cledir, I don't know how you pronounce that, Barros, who's 37 years old, gave an interview to local ABC affiliate WSB. I can't even put into words, something that came upon her. She just lost control and went above and beyond. I don't know. Here's my question to the people who are listening. I do not advocate for any type of violence. Men against women, women against women, women on children, men on children. I don't advocate for violence and fighting and all of that stupid crap. I think there's just better ways for us to deal with the things that are going on, especially when it comes to dealing with children. I come from the black community. I come from the spanking community. I understand all of that. And I'm telling you, if you spank your kids, you're stupid. If you still spank your kids in 2024, black folks, stop it. It's dumb. That is not how you parent. If you hit your kids, spank your kids, smack your kids, grab your kids, be physical with your kids, stop doing it. It is bad parenting. Matter of fact, it's lazy parenting. It is lazy because you don't parent with these. You don't parent with your fist and your hands and your feet and objects. Parenting comes from the mind. You parent from the mind, and it takes more work. It takes more patience. It takes more knowing what to do to get corrective action as a parent, which is why not everybody needs to be a damn parent. If you don't understand that, then you shouldn't have kids. On Thursday, police arrested the father on second-degree murder and cruelty to children, court records show. WSB reported a warrant accuses the father of knowing his wife was abusing his daughter, but allowed her to watch the girl unsupervised. The warrant identified the girl as Sayra Barros. I don't know if I can find that. It is spelled Sayra. And I don't think there are any images. At least not yet. If I can find a picture, if you guys have a picture of the deceased daughter, let me know. I will post it in the thumbnail. I will make a correction and update that. But RIP to Sayra Barros. Sayra. Natalia and Cledir Barros, the father and mother, or the father and stepmother, are at the Gwinnett County Jail with no bond. One neighbor said that she never saw any violence at the home. Completely shocked, she told WAGA. Let me give you guys the fair usage, and then we'll go from there. Got to do this in the bootleg way. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. And I appreciate y'all for calling out in the chat. Y'all said if it was 10 to 20 times, it was probably more than that. It was probably, that little girl was probably hit more times than that. But if you guys would do me a favor and please click that thumbs up and share this story, that would help us out quite a bit. And share the memory of this baby. I only got a couple of news stories.
For a father charged in his 8-year-old daughter's murder. Atlanta News First reporter Asia Wilson live outside the Gwinnett County Jail. And Asia, this is just a heartbreaking story, and it comes very soon after police arrested his wife, the daughter's stepmother, who was also denied bond.
That's right. Very sad situation. 37-year-old Cladere Barros will remain here at the Gwinnett County Jail after being arrested late Wednesday night. Now he, along with the child's stepmother, are facing murder and other charges in connection to her death.
Any other questions, sir?
Thursday morning, Cladere Barros stood before a judge in connection to his 8-year-old daughter's death.
Sir, you've got 2 felony charges. Do you know what they are?
He faces felony murder and cruelty to children, both in the 2nd degree. Those charges now leaving him behind bars for now.
One has been denied. It says you're a flight risk, and the other is Superior Court only. Only a Superior Court judge sitting in your case can grant a bond. Do you understand that? Do you know what that means for you? You're going to be here for a while.
According to an arrest warrant, Barros is accused of criminal negligence, causing the child cruel or excessive physical or mental pain. Investigators say Barros was aware the child was abused and continued to leave her unsupervised with the abuser at their Bethlehem home.
Ma'am, you have 4 felony charges. Do you know?
On Wednesday, his wife, 34-year-old Natalia, appeared in court and was also denied bond. Investigators accuse her of beating the child with a wooden rolling pin 10 to 20 times, refusing to give the young girl medical care afterwards. They say instead she called Cladere, who came home and found the child unresponsive.
It's kind of shocking because it seemed like there was a nice and happy family to me.
Now that arrest warrant also says when Barros was made aware that his child was having a medical emergency, it said he did not seek medical.
Just a horrific update involving the death of that 8-year-old we told you about, allegedly at the hands of her own stepmother.
Investigators say the 8-year-old was beaten to death. Atlanta News First was inside the courtroom when the accused stood silently in court, charged with malice murder.
Ma'am, you have 4 felony charges. Do you know what they are?
She nods. Yes. Atlanta News First, Brittany Ford in Gwinnett County with new details on what led up to this tragedy.
Well, the details in this case are just completely heartbreaking. 34-year-old Natalia Barros remains behind bars here at the Gwinnett County Jail, where a judge has denied her bond. This is a look inside the courtroom as Barros made her first appearance this morning.
How long have you been unemployed?
A stay-home mom.
She's accused of killing her 8-year-old stepdaughter at their Bethlehem home yesterday. Court records state Barros took a wooden rolling pin, striking the child more than 20 times, failing to render any type of aid. The arrest warrant states she instead called the child's father, who rushed home and called 911, but it was too late. Wednesday, she stood before a judge who laid out the charges.
Ma'am, you have 4 felony charges. Do you know what they are? There's no bond that's been denied on 2 or 3 of these. It says you're a danger to somebody. Do you know what that means for you? Yes. You're going to be here for a while, okay?
Barros has been charged with first-degree child cruelty, aggravated assault, felony murder, and malice murder. And while her bond has been denied, that could be contested when the case gets to Superior Court.
First tonight at 5, a Gwinnett County woman appeared before a judge today, one day after police say she killed her stepdaughter. Good evening and thanks for being with us. I'm Jennifer Bellamy.
And I'm Faith Jesse, and this is actually a story we brought to you as breaking news yesterday. Tracy A. McPeer live at the county jail tonight. So, Tracy, the woman's arrest warrants that you received today include several disturbing details.
That's right. And right now, Natiela Barros is being held here at the Gwinnett County Jail. And yes, in those warrants, police claim she beat her stepdaughter to death with a rolling pin.
Do you know what that means for you? Yes. You're going to be here for a while, okay?
At her first court appearance this morning, 34-year-old Natiela Barros requested a court-appointed attorney and told the judge she's a stay-at-home mom. She's charged with cruelty to children in the first degree, aggravated assault, felony murder, and malice murder, with Gwinnett County Police claiming she beat her 8-year-old stepdaughter to death. Gwinnett Police Corporal Ryan Winderweedle says around 2:15 Tuesday afternoon, officers responded to a medical call at this house on Vine Springs Trace in Bethlehem. And inside, they found the 8-year-old girl's body.
The female was home with the child, and some kind of incident took place, which she called the father, who then came to the house, and I believe he's the one who called 911 and I believe started CPR. And then when the officers got there, the juvenile female was already deceased at that time.
Arrest warrants claim Barros beat the victim with a wooden rolling pin 10 to 20 times, refusing to get her medical care afterwards. And the incident resulted in her death.
And it was 8-year-old. It's sad. Nobody likes seeing or having to investigate that type of case.
Neighbors we talked to did not want to go on camera, but tell us the family was quiet and kept to themselves. They say they can't believe this happened on their street. And
breaking news right now, we're following a disturbing case of murder. It had her first court appearance.
And that hearing, Rick, before a magistrate judge happened inside a small courtroom in the case. And if you have kids in the room, just a warning for you, some of the details are hard to hear.
Ma'am, you have 4 felony charges. Do you know what they are?
Wearing a jailhouse jumpsuit, 34-year-old Natiela Barros faced a judge whose job it is to make sure she understands the charges she faces. She told him she's a stay-at-home mom. He said he's not at liberty to grant bond.
Do you understand that? Do you know what that means for you? You're going to be here for a while.
Gwinnett County investigators believe the murder happened here at this home on Vine Springs Trace near Bethlehem. According to the arrest warrant, detectives believe Barros took a wooden rolling pin and used it to beat her 8-year-old stepdaughter 10 to 20 times, including on the top portion of her neck, and then refused to get medical care for her. She called her husband, who's the girl's father, police tell us. He rushed home, called 911, and attempted CPR on his daughter, but it was too late. Now his wife, the girl's stepmother, is charged with first-degree child cruelty, aggravated assault, felony murder, and malice murder.
I asked one of the police officers what was going on.
Based on what I understand, I don't think it was any other children there. I don't know that for a fact because that information could be different, but I don't think there were. They didn't mention any other children being there, so I don't think there were.
It was something tragic.
Neighbor Isaac Woods was stunned to see all the police activity across the street Tuesday.
Nice and happy family to me.
Now, Barros could try for bond when the case gets to Superior Court. We have the victim's name, but we're not releasing it until we're certain that the girl's biological mother has been notified. Live at the Gwinnett County Jail in Lawrenceville, Rebecca Schramm, Atlanta News First.
I can understand that to a certain extent. They usually do have information that they don't release, probably even have pictures, but nonetheless, if I do end up getting a picture, it's not going to pose any danger to the child that's deceased now. But I think that this serves as an example of what we've been advocating for, that all parties who know something and don't say anything should be investigated, and they probably should face charges and potentially jail time. I think they absolutely got this right. When they get it right, we don't have any complaints. But I hope that the stepmother, what did you think hitting this little child with something hard like that was going to do to them? You lost it? Lost what? You lost what? To beat someone to death. What did you lose? Here's what I was going to say. If you heard of a situation, let's just say it was this husband, and you guys hear that her husband beat her 20 plus times with a wooden rolling pin, what would y'all think? And then she turned around and passed away. What would y'all think? Y'all would think that this man were a monster. And it would probably be national outrage, but because it happened to a child and because it was a woman who did it, there is no national outrage. But here at the AFC, we're outraged. We're tired of seeing it. And we're going to continue to keep railing against people like this. And I think that they got these charges right. They both need a lot of prison time. I think the stepmother, life in prison. The dad, I don't know. Whatever her sentence is, give him at least half of that. That's what I think would be fair, and I think that'd be justice. So to the little girl, I think I said her name was Sayra, Sarah, R.I.P. And like I said, if I can go back and put her picture back in here at a later point, then we'll pay tribute and homage to her, okay? Thank you.